लाल कलर की अच्छी लगा था। बड़ी प्रॉब्लम भाई मुझे तो 4 चौकी चाहिए। एक में एक की गाड़ी की एक विराट
चप्पल तो बप्पू पे रही।
said. It's not 130. It's about 130 some ball. 123 is just about what you do with that speed that matters. But a very instinctive player. Like 88. Probably faced around 230
नहीं जा रहा वहाँ
Sri Lanka's problems at the top
हाँ
really struggle with their opening partnerships. This is a new one. Number Patrick Sanka is injured, not available, and hence Zara and Madushka together. Get it to bounce a lot more, a little bit more quicker than Mohammad Siraj. This is the roller that was used when Sri Lanka opted for before they came out to bat. India, as we mentioned, did not opt to use the roller. You have the option before play start of play and then before start of an innings.
कहीं डर रहा
So Russell, what was that? Was that light, medium, heavy? What kind of a roller was that? I think that's the light. Prasidh Krishna is a very interesting seam bowler. I think his natural go-to length is short of length. He's a tall guy and gets the ball to rise quite a bit. Doesn't have to go really short. And in fact, he was one of the flag bearers of using this length in T20 cricket in the IPL and being very successful. Bowling short of length. Still trying to make an impact in Test cricket. His natural length. More often than not, batter is caught on the crease. Hard to push forward because of his height. What I like about him is his demeanor and just his overall approach to his bowling. He's not obviously very aggressive the way he bowls, but he's not somebody who's uncertain about what he's doing. He's confident,
यार लगाया ही था
believes in himself, eager to get wickets, and the batter gets a sense of that. First runs went straight down off the bat and to the boundary. 4 for 1 after 2. Amindu Mendis, 58.12. His first few innings in Test cricket, average 190. Almost the quickest 1,000 runs in Test cricket, but it's slowed down ever since. Playing so good, Sanjay. And is just not able to get on to the front foot at all. Last ball of last over. And it did nicely. Hard hand, probably might have carried the slip. Something that he'll try and do, Prasidh Krishna, is get that ball occasionally right up to the batter. Catch the batter on the back foot. Surprise him with the fullness of leg. Off the mark is Chundimal. Really grown in stature and his quality of bowling of Mohammad Siraj. The green swing, the first one 3.7, the third swinging a lot. As much as degree of turn. You know, every delivery on a length except for the one. Chundimal, you can see he's trying to push forward, but he just can't. And almost every delivery caught on the crease. Just the last ball, he somehow gets that front foot pushed up. Oh, good fielding, good fielding. Here's an opportunity. Oh, direct hit and he was corners. Jaiswal in the gully. Udara thought that he was clearing that fielder at gully. Played the ball in that area, got a good view, and he thought it was too wide. The fielder called for a single, only to realize that there's a brilliant stop from Jaiswal. Chundimal saw it, did the right thing by saying no, because that was a bad call. Called assuming that the ball is passing the fielder. Couldn't get the direct hit. Was furious with himself, Jaiswal, for having missed that direct hit. Well, he hit the edge of the circle. Or not the circle, the square. That's why it bounced over. Now Chundimal committed to this. Chundimal's running until he sees Jaiswal do this. Right on the edge of the square, and hence it bounces over. Usually coaches tell us, try and aim for the base of the stumps. Yeah, when you want to direct it, especially from that distance, don't trust the outfield. It's not the most smooth area. Try and get that line straight in the air and aim for the base of the stump. But great stop, creating an opportunity for India to get their second wicket. And look at the running. Chundimal commits himself, and hence Udara puts his head down. And then suddenly he screams. Chundimal has a good view though, initially. I believe the batter, assuming that the ball is going to pass the gully fielder. And he too was a little surprised, and the non-striker surely was. You can see, this is away from Jaiswal. Dives a little behind it. And here's the bounce. Save the batter. I don't know whether it was in the direction of the stump, but it was a great stop. That's become his position now, Jaiswal. Gully.
जहाँ सारी उठा दे भाई नाक में लग गई
8 for 1.
पता नहीं है मैं वहाँ लिखने से आऊँ
For 1, could have easily been 2. Jaiswal had hit the stumps. Where's your supporter? Sanjay? I don't see him up there today. Don't tell me. He's jumped ship. What? Okay, I think I know what that was about. It was the 15th of August. I think he was celebrating India's Independence Day. The default setting is Sri Lankan flag and Sri Lankan support. I'd have to think so. No other reason I can think of. He was in Indian colors, holding an Indian flag up there, showing respect, support. If that's the case, nice of him. Yeah, unless we see India batting again and he comes with an India flag in hand. Is it about the team batting? But we'll find out. Well, I don't recall seeing him yesterday, though. Maybe he was wet and he was drying himself somewhere. Oh, he's just a batter. Now that's a classy shot. On the up, though. Top of the bounds, Lairu Udara. Tell you what, Prasid Krishna wouldn't mind this because this is not an overpitch delivery. He's hit that ball on the up, which seems to be his style. He doesn't take a big stride forward. Slightly open stance, and he's gone with the movement. But it's, you can see, very much on the up. Had that ball just maybe kicked off a little bit, scramble seam, not vertical, came straight off the deck.
There you go. You let it come. He lets it come into his arc, and that's when he plays. That's where Udara has had control over that, you'd say. But to reinforce your point, I think that's what Shubman Gill is also telling Prasid Krishna. Nicely played. And look at the bowler. Let him play that. That's what he did say.
Really very interesting batting technique that Lairu Udara has. Igala Gamage. If you're following his career on digital platforms, sometimes it's called that as well. He got 188 recently against West Indies. A short stride forward. You can see that it's a very small step forward, and he still wants to play at the ball. So he can be a little vulnerable with that technique, but if you mastered it, if you played like that all your life, you still can make the most of it.
It's the bat hard. Prasid Krishna, it's 12 for 1. Sky is looking good for the moment. Now the sun shining bright. It's broken through unlike earlier today.
Minor adjustment at the last minute, just opening the face of the bat, changing the direction of the bat. Not quite coming forward at the moment, Chundimal. Let's talk about Dinesh Chundimal. 93 test matches, 15-year career. How do you see him, Dinesh Chundimal, and compare him with some of the other Sri Lankan batting greats who have played as many test matches?
He does have a good career, and he's made a lot of impactful innings, but his career has not been smooth. He's been in and out of team for long periods. The expectations when he first walked out, he was just an instinctive player, Sanjay. He'd take the bowlers on. This is that 162 I was telling you about. India, very good Indian spinners. India with a big first innings lead, and he played his knock when Sri Lanka was 5 down. And he got full value for it because Rangana Herat went out and defended that score. I say Rangana Herat because he was chief architect in defending 170, if I remember right. I think he was thrust into captaincy way too early, which did not suit a smooth progression through his career. And then there was a time where his technique was being changed around. Bottom hand dominant, that's for sure. You can score runs. That's why he plays the sweep shot well. That innings, if you saw, a lot of the square bat shots, square of the wicket shots are his go-to. Tried to change that. He lost his way a little bit there as well. He was just not allowed or couldn't stay in that zone that he was required and allowed to play his game as an instinctive player.
The reason I asked that is I saw the start of his career, come to Sri Lanka very often to cover cricket. rising talent here. Gifted player. Not a grafter. Had instincts, big shots. Been a long time since started playing Test cricket. He's had a 15-year career that quite brilliant.
The pressure of leadership earlier on, and probably not the most popular decision as well. All these started weighing on him, I feel. Rather than him gradually progressing and expressing himself like the instinctive, talented player that even you've seen.
Interesting approach to captaincy. Now they've got to slip out. And once again, they've got an exit cover. So that position at exit cover seems to be very important to Shubman Gill. Second time he's got the ball on his pad. The first time there was a signal of leg by. Now they are contemplating a review, but the body language would suggest that maybe they wouldn't go for it. But great leg there, right leg for Udara. Get that ball up there. He doesn't get a big stride, and let's see what happened here.
There was no inside edge. That looked very straight indeed. Well, that's another thing that Udara does. Oh, there we go. Anything straight, he flicks onto the leg side with Siraj's shape. Sanjay, that's the risk. Watch it right on the bat. But Siraj gets into swing lane.
Suddenly when India's bowling, or is it because it's day 3 and the pitch has settled down? I don't know. That last ball is just about short of playing. Look at how much it's risen. We've seen the start as well, the first wicket that fed. There was bounce of short of leg delivery, this one too. So that's something that surprises you, or something that we can expect in ball. If you hit the deck, you'll get height on the ball.
You will, there's a bit of grass and hence that's much bounce. Siraj is using well. Tries to bring that back in. Gets it all wrong, Siraj. It's 17 for 1. Interesting first few overs for Sri Lanka, 17 for 1. This meant that the wicket gone down, obviously. Playing and missing for Bahid Udara. A couple of strokes of luck. One a little faint feather on outside edge. The ball that seemed very adjacent, a run out. 17 for 1, Sri Lanka. Siraj, he's bowled well within himself. That's the first ball that he was trying to angle into the right hand. That was consistently getting the outswinger going. First time he tried to get one to come back in, and it did way too much for Rishabh Pant. Interested in Siraj's speeds. He's been bowling mid to high 120s, and he's got his rhythm going. When he's going well, he's about 135, 134, 135 thereabouts. But he's bowled well within himself today. Just gone over 131s.
Bowled some excellent deliveries. So the very first ball to get rid of Nissan Maduska Fernando. Nothing shot in the end. Take a look at good off the seam.
Yeah, and a good catch by David Padikkal. And first hit outswing. Perfect seat position for an outswinger. Ball, if you hit the right leather, keep on saying it, Harsha. It's all about the length with the new ball for the faster bowlers.
He's got the right end. It's not as much of a gale as we had on the first day. The breeze blowing across from leg side to long side. Siraj is able to
Still just enough to aid the outswing. Also interestingly, we saw Devdutt Padikkal take that catch. The reason Shubman Gill is not in the slips is he had a finger injury just before the warm-up game. Remember, matter of precaution, was pulled out of the first innings of that game. So Devdutt Padikkal comes in alongside KL Rahul.
Not look solid. Rashid Krishna, he's been bowling well, hitting the bat hard. Ideally, leaves another couple of feet to the front foot. Get the batter to the front foot.
His natural length, as Sanjay was telling a little while back, his natural length hit the leg hard, just back of the leg. Those are serious numbers, and I'm delighted for Chundimal's resurgence, renaissance almost. Went through a period when I thought Sri Lanka were going to lose another quality player, and I say another with good reason because there was a couple more. But in recent times, it's been very good for him. 516 50s. Knocking in the last 4 years or so. Great careers.
हेलो दोस्तों, अगर आप जितने भी भाई बहन जुड़े हैं वो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें और वीडियो को लाइक कर दें, ताकि मैं आपको इस चैनल पर सारे मैच दिखाऊंगा तो आपको उनका नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाएगा, इसलिए आप सब्सक्राइब करके ज़रूर रख लें।
Works up pace very easily, slips over 140 very easily. There's a difference of about 13-14 k's at either end at the moment.
सब्सक्राइब तो आप ज़रूर कर लें, क्योंकि आपको मैं इस पर पूरी मैच दिखाने वाला हूँ और तीनों आज के तीनों सेशन दिखेंगे।
Other teams, so you've got how many wicket keepers standing there? There's Rishabh Pant, KL Rahul at second slip, Dhruv Jurel at third. Pulla.
Always it's awkward to a tall fast bowler like Prasidh Krishna. Chandimal naturally likes to hang back in the back foot. Back of the deliveries, he just drives. This is why I said Rashid Krishna to be dangerous and use the new ball properly. His last delivery was just perfect, but not much movement. And Gaul doesn't swing everything. And Prasidh Krishna, for me, as you said, hit the big bowler. On a good day, he can wobble it. Just about make that
सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें।
comfortable for the batter. Get him to the front foot. Dion bouncer. Front of square, no timing at all. Should be at least couple. Not taking on the third with Ravindra Jadeja's arm.
Never going to reach the boundary though, so 2 is a good result from that shot. Important phase in this game for Sri Lanka. Last thing you want when you allow your opponents to make 460 runs. Lose a wicket, second ball. Almost lost a second. But their wins at home in recent times have come against teams that are below them. Below them in the rankings. Got a point to prove here, 19 for 1.
Bangladesh. Look at them, they've been presented 66.67, still basking in the afterglow of their greatest cricket performance, beating Australia and Darwin, a full-strength Australian side. India need to win these test matches, both these test matches. At the moment, they're on the right side of the weather. It's down the leg side. I just wanted that pace a bit of a bother. Probably not the pace, but certainly the length. Both Lairudara and Dinesh Chundimal have two-pace strokes outside the off stump, especially in the back. Lacking length that Siraj is operating, just making things uncomfortable for both the batters. Lairudara is a player, he's a free-flowing player, he likes to get on with things. Yeah, Fuller, and at that pace, easily driven down the ground. Strikes me, Lairudara as a player searching for runs all the time, searching to play shots. Not quite classical side-on as openers are. Most players these days move their left foot out. On this occasion, gets a good stride forward though. Shot of full authority. It's the first time I think in this spell by Siraj is overpitched. Young girl or boy watching this coverage, watching this on drive, that's how you play on drive. Full stop, all around the ground, nice high elbow, following through. The impression just releasing the ball, it's an alarming drop in pace. Better ball. I've talked about Sri Lanka in recent times against more fancied teams. Didn't quite come good against either Australia or Pakistan or England. 6 or 7 test losses at home there. They've won against Ireland, Zimbabwe, Bangladesh. So it's an opportunity for them to say, look, India, you're coming here. I know you're looking to make the World Test Championship, but we believe you're vulnerable with recent losses at home. They need a strong performance. Didn't get it with the ball. Allowed India to make 462. Lovely timing. Lovely timing. You can see why he's rated highly in this part of the world. Man with full of confidence. 188 in the last test match up in the West Indies against the Antigua. It's a wobble seam, trying to get back into the right-hander. 126 clicks against Lairudara, and that length is trouble. Found the gap, found the placement. Perfectly timed by Lairudara. Years old, Lairudara. It's been a late bloomer. Where was he all these years? Playing for my club. You're not one of those nondescripts again, are you? Heart and soul, Harsha joined in 2007. 19 years for this year. Nondescripts. What a lovely name. So what do you do with Siraj? He's bowled 4 overs now. Struggling with his pace. He's taken the wicket. He's gone for a couple of boundaries in this over. Think of the left arm spinner. 27 for 1 after 7. So 27 for 1. I've just been searching for the precise definition of the word nondescript. And it says lacking any special or distinct features. It's an interesting name to have for a club. I was actually waiting for Russ to come on to ask him what distinct features he possessed to be part of that, or maybe he didn't to be part of that club. Spin is on. This is interesting. I had the feeling before the start of this test, or that we might see a very gentle passing of the baton.
from a spin bowling all-rounder to someone who's now a batting all-rounder, Ravindra Jadeja. Because post Ashwin's retirement, he's a senior one, but the first change is Suthar. Oh, straight away, what a start. The finger will go up. This is beautifully done. There's a reason a lot of us who watch Manav Suthar are in raptures over his bowling style. First ball, bang on, big turn. That will send shockwaves down that batting order.
What a selection. This talk before the test match, is it going to be Saransh Jain or Manav Suthar? I kept on saying should be Manav Suthar simply because of the wrist position that he has. Perfect for conditions in Sri Lanka. In Gaul, it's not about the turn for the spinners, it's about the bounce. And take a look at where Rishabh Pant collects it, Harsha. This is why, for me, Manav Suthar is going to be the dangerous man for Sri Lanka. Off the glove. Good catch by Rishabh Pant as Dinesh Chundimal walks back after scoring 4. 27 for 2.
So second wicket goes down for Sri Lanka. Kamindu Mendis comes in. What a start to his career. And yet, in spite of only 17 matches and 29 innings, it's already a career that's got two parts to it. Which one are we going to see today? Someone who had the world standing up and saying, right, watch Kamindu Mendis. His first 13 innings, he had 11 scores of 50 plus, 1,000 runs at 91. Thereafter, next 15 innings, 32. What's his approach going to be? He's got a slip, a leg slip, and a forward short leg. There's a catching shot mid-wicket. And in case he wants to take on the left-arm spinner, man in the deep at square, just in front of square. Mid-on is wide-ish, and there's a backward square as well. Two others on the offside. Big turn, it's beaten everybody. Yes, things happening with the spinner.
Big massive turn. Couple of deliveries before. Dinesh Chandimal got a good one. Got a decent stride out. But just the bounce off the glove, and Rishabh Pant took a good catch. What a start for Manav Suthar in his second test match. With the new ball, you can expect much more bounce, but the line and the particular length was just perfect. Just on Kamindu Mendis, I think he likes to play the attacking game. In these conditions, he has to be aggressive, dictate term against Manav Suthar early on.
Keep an eye on the degree of turn for the spinners. Now, two things about this. One is it's just taken the very top of the bat or the glove maybe, and it finds the fingertip of Rishabh Pant's gloves. The turn he's getting already. We saw towards the end of day one that the turn had gone up to about 4.5 degrees, a little less on the second day when the bowling was quicker. He's got every ball to turn alarmingly and at a good pace, much quicker than what the Sri Lankans were bowling. The wicket-taking ball was 88, then 90. A lot quicker.
The line is bowling is threatening the outside edge as well as the inside edge. Real time. Not much of that is taken. I think it coming to Mendis at the crease now. Even KL Rahul in the offside is in play. Certainly with the ball, it doesn't turn. Goes with the arm. Apesh. One bounce to the mid-on fielder, Prashit Krishna. A successful over comes to an end for Manav Suthar. 32 for 2.
flag fluttering up there. Always does in goal. Always in goal. Open ground. Sea next door. What's the batting to come? Dhananjay De Silva is in good form. Thereafter, there's the batting all-rounder. I think you can say batsman who bowls. It's Sonal Dinusha. Then you're looking at Niroshan Dikwella on his way back. Then the bowlers. Average is 7.88. Brilliant. It's just something about his action. You see a lot of left-arm spinners these days. Little round armish, pinging the ball into the pads. Where he goes back to the old style, letting it go over and dropping. Now Prasidh Krishna.
Kamil Mendes, last ball of the previous over, used his feet, not to the pitch of the ball. Bit of disturbance of the surface as well. Prasidh Krishna. Halfway mark, not cut the single off, he was just hovering around halfway mark, and I thought Kamil Mendes was a bit lucky, and I like to see him a bit aggressive rather than playing into the trap of Manav Suthar. He's just playing the second test match. Test him out.
Bit of a test for Kamil Mendes against the slightly extra pace of Prasidh Krishna. He's bowled within himself these first two balls, but he struggled in South Africa. Very different conditions, of course. Struggled a bit against Australia. But Sri Lanka really need Kamil Mendes to be in here. Don't think India would mind him taking an aggressive approach. He's already chipped one shot of the fielder. He's played and missed one. So if it's a counter attack, I don't think India would mind it too much.
तो दोस्तों मैच चालू होगा, आप घबराए नहीं, थोड़ा सिग्नल का प्रॉब्लम है, जल्दी ठीक हो जाएगा। आप बने रहिए लाइन में। 2-5 मिनट इसमें वेट होगा। दोस्तों चलो मैं आपको दूसरी जगह से दिखाता हूँ।
Don't think India would mind him taking an aggressive approach. He's already chipped one shot of the fielder. He's played and missed one. So if it's a counter attack, I don't think India would mind it too much.
India. It's effectively sort of midway through second day. Oh, beautiful. It's the length. The length is the key for Manav Suthar. The length, the dip, the pace, you name it, Manav Suthar has it. Just a perfect pace. Disturbance of the surface in line of the stumps. And that's something that the batters who are yet to come, sitting in the dugout, will be thinking. They're up against it. That's a short delivery, has to be put away. There's no middle in place, and Nairudara times it well. Most importantly, found the gap perfectly. It's an interesting point you make about the ball turning from wicket to wicket. It's something Ravindra Jadeja said yesterday morning. It's too short and easy. Yesterday morning in that conversation with Sanjay Manjrekar, when he said it's turning in line with the
मैं
stumps.
गिरेगी सबसे ये करना
And for
है
someone like Jadeja, that would be perfect because he doesn't turn the ball very much, but it's very difficult to distinguish between the one that goes straight through and the one that turns. Comes it over quickly, 10 gone, 40 for 2.
अब ना माटी चटे की तरफ फटने आ रहा है
So another over for Prasid Krishna's. A conversation going on. What if you can't make this? Still got two slips in the gully. Not quite cover mid off.
आओ मैं लाइव पूछ रही हूँ हाँ जलन की कर रही है हाँ
अभी इतने का पूरा हुआ है
पूछ ली मैं
बैठ जा बाहर
Ravindra Jadeja stayed away from
अच्छा
the
पूरा साहब
main but Prasid Krishna
कोई
is
आजमा जी ने कुछ
हाँ
अच्छा तो मैं संध्या को आऊंगा
two slips in a gully. I think if we can get the ball to move away, it should be
आओ आओ
difficult. With the wind blowing from the off side to the leg side to the left hander. Get it away from the left hand after pitching. Can get that
हाँ
good left. That's a wicket taking option. For Prasid Krishna. Coming to bend he's a player who likes with in the field. Playing mind games now. Balik going to take the boundary to the final against Balik and a mid wicket in place. Krishna, I'll not be surprised to test out coming to bend this down to short delivery just to check his patience level playing the full shot.
आपको
The man out on the boundary is, if anything, a little in front of square. One well behind square, so backward square, not quite long leg, not quite 45. Man is definitely in front of square. Good stuff by Prasid Krishna. Hitting the back hard with 140 kicks per hour, giving nothing away. This is what bowling in partnership. No easy runs being given on the other end. Manav Suthar is bowling superbly, looking dangerous. Certainly, Indians, when it comes to bowling, are on top of their game. I hope that's not the Sri Lankan ship leaving the harbour. Choppy waters, it's there. 42. We call wide, but look how it floats into the keeper's gloves. It's a short ball from a quick bowler, but it's floating into the gloves. It's not thudding into them. That tells you a little bit about what the surface is doing on the third morning of this test match.
और का
On the dry side, that's for sure. Almost like a sponge bounce. And coming to Mendes, he plays a short ball well. Initially,
अरे दोस्तों चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें आपको पूरा मैच दिखेगा लाइव
let's it go.
ये मुझे लगता है
Straight up and
विकेट
has gone
गया
the distance. Fielder underneath. Does it go?
छक्का
Goes for
गया भाई
6. It's a brave shot with the fielder there. I think Parvez Maru might have got it right about the approach for coming to Mendes. But tell you,
ये
when you're
मेंडिस
40
बहुत
for
अच्छा
2,
खेलता है
you get caught on the square leg boundary with the fielder pushed straight back for that. I think you're taking a very long way back to your own change room. It's a brave shot on this occasion. It's come off. A brave shot for sure. And Kamil Mendes knows the conditions well. That's going with the wind. That's the only reason I could think of. If not, if it's the other way around, batting from the media box, then I think he would have
मुझे
kept it
लगता है इस बॉल पर ही बड़ा शॉट आने वाला है भाई.
down the ground as possible. A very good call. Very good call about hitting it with the wind. It's a decent breeze. Indeed. He's played all his cricket at Galle International Cricket Stadium. Played for Richmond College. Plenty of games at the Galle International Stadium. And that's one reason why he had no intention to keep it on the ground. Yes, I understand. It was a brave shot under the circumstances with 2 wickets down. A trap was already set. That's what it is. Was making good sound off his bat. Icy spin at both ends. 47 for 2. Going at 4.3 and over. Sri Lanka. Not afraid to play their shots. Very interested in how coming to end this innings is going to pan out. Started bravely. A few more left-handers to come. There's Dhananjaya De Silva and then the 2 left-handers in Vinusha and Tikwela. Oh, it's just briefly in the air. I'll tell you what he reminds me of, simply because he goes over with the spin. And I first saw Murali Karthik. He had a similar action. He's watching it in the studio back in India. And he was one of the earliest people to tell me that this kid is someone to watch very, very closely as a connoisseur of spin bowling. Yeah, Murali Karthik has got me out twice, so I certainly remember what he did in the past, and yeah, a lot of similarities. And what I like about is nothing outside the lines, all stumps to stumps. The batsman has to play. It's just a brilliant line, and then just like that, a slip, a gully away for an outside edge, and the very first ball, there was a thick outside edge. He went down simply because the batsman played with a soft hands, not any hard hands, and that's concerning again. In line of the stumps, that sharp turn.
पता नहीं है कौन सा कलर
What
लाया
if
है.
better than something like this play with a straight ball and don't mind the ball beats them.
गाड़ी में कलर भी काला हो गया गाड़ी तो बड़ी अच्छी
चिढ़ा
है
जा रहा हूँ.
वही गाड़ी है नहीं वहाँ पे चौकी में
Nice and easy approach.
ब्लैक कलर की है जमत है
He gathers in just before the
जाकी तो
wrist,
जमती
wrist
नहीं है वो
position.
कोई सी एंगल से
Comes
नहीं
over the top and mention left asking and gives it all. Gives it rip.
ये और लाल
Plenty
हो
of
तो
effort.
दिक्कत नहीं चिटक
That's
रही है.
exactly what you want. In goal, plenty of energy.
दोस्तों चैनल को सब्सक्राइब
From
जरूर कर
Rajasthan,
लें और
24
लाइक
years
कर
old.
दें ताकि आपको ये पूरा मैच दिखेगा और आने वाला सीजन भी आपको इस पर दिखेगा.
Every time you ask someone, what's the scene with Indian first class cricket?
सब्सक्राइब
They say,
जरूर
watch
कर
out for
दें.
Manav Suthar. Comes from a small town, Sri Ganganagar. His father, Jagdish, a physical
और
education
लाइक भी कर
teacher.
दें ताकि और भी भाई जुड़ सके.
Was a net bowler at the 2023 World Cup, and the people who played against him said, wow, not on this occasion though. Just dropped short a little bit. Second time that he's done that. For Sri Lanka, 51 for 2 after 12. Plenty for the spinners to work with here on day 3.
over slightly short, put away. What Sri Lanka need to do, to look to score so that when the poor ball presents itself, they're able to put it away. Can't just sit there and look to survive. Spin for both ends now.
दोस्तों जडेजा आएगा ना
He's
तब
been
विकेट मिलेगा.
relegated to third position as spinner. Ravindra Jadeja. India goes to Manav Suthar first, then Kuldeep Yadav. They've got three left-arm spinners. One is a wrist spinner. I saw Kuldeep Yadav this morning practicing, and I think the one feature he wants to get into his bowling is a flatter trajectory and a little quicker. And that's something that he's always had to work on, especially on this pitch. It's a pitch where we saw Yeshwaran Wata increasing his speed and getting more out of the pitch. Kuldeep Yadav would have observed that as well. You can see that the trajectory from Kuldeep Yadav is a much flatter trajectory. We've seen Kuldeep Yadav over the years. His great strength is giving that ball flight and thereby getting more turn and bounce. But on this pitch and off late, it's become a little flatter. But today, will be the flattest that you've seen in the air. I'm a little surprised that India have not used Jadeja on this pitch. I just feel his bowling style is best suited to exploit this surface, but time will tell.
Do you feel that that's the case because Jadeja gets the odd one to just go on with the arm and not every ball spins?
Yeah, that's going to be the fun thing to watch. And you're right. Now, I've seen Manav Suthar wait on the shin. Lou Jurel, originally a keeper, is that forward short leg. But yeah, that's something I've been watching. I've been watching Manav Suthar. And he's bowled beautifully. And this is the first time I'm getting a really good look at him. What he has, which is different from Jadeja, is he's much straighter in his arm action. The release, the arm is very straight, almost from the top of his head. And he's got a beautiful wrist position, but what that does is actually prevents him from getting the natural variation too much. When you have a slightly round arm, bowling action, some balls just skid onto the pads, what we call natural variation. Not meant to turn, but it does. The score is 53 for 2, and it's a very hot day here in Gaul. It's time for drinks.
दोस्तों सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें, मुझे आपसे कहना ना पड़े, आप पहले ही कर लें और लाइक कर दें ताकि बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों तक पहुंच सके और वो भी मैच देख सकें. प्रियंका का कार में खिलाड़ी इसमें
Madushka went very early without scoring, and then Dinesh Chandimal got an absolute beauty from Suthar. He had a great start. Batted for 2.5 this morning, and then Mohammad Siraj got that first wicket for Madushka. The catch by Devda Padikkal, who's at first slip, so getting 100, get the slip catch as well. And then Manav Suthar with his first ball in the second test match. Gets the second wicket. That's important to write about it. The extent that it actually got the glove. The ball was pitched up and it got the glove of the batter. Tells you that he will get bounced on every pitch because of the way he releases the ball. He's reasonably tall. There's a lot of overspin as well. India will continue to lose seamers a lot. That's their style. They won't be completely obsessed with spinners. They'll also see if there's reverse swing available for seamers and go to the seamers periodically. What I think. Lanka trailing by 409. They are getting all out 460. They batted for just first over, 1 over today.
इस ओवर में मुझे लगता है तो फिर
Chandimal
गिर सकता है
out for 4 of 16. Yes, that very traditional left arm orthodox action that Suthar has. Nice and over the top. Gets over the front foot beautifully. Now I tell you all the time, spinners would love to see that bowling action. The word pivot was used to be used a lot. They wanted always to see that front foot pivot after it lands. And Manav Suthar does, but now what I'm really watching, just out of interest, it's not a weakness or any criticism, but whether he can bowl the straight delivery, the straight ball, can he get the natural variation, or whether his classical bowling action that came a little straight off the pitch, but until now, all his balls have turned. Continue to watch it. None of that is sort of pointing towards first slip, which is ideal for a left-arm orthodox. What you suggested, Sanjay, is that every now and again, if you can just get that seam to drop a little bit further, so that the ball's almost undercut, and that allows it to go straight on. So let's keep watching the release, whether he actually does that. What he has as a gift, and which is great to see, is that he's got
मिडिल ओवर जाएगा
turn as a natural strength, and it's really heartening and refreshing to see a spinner trying to get the ball to turn. So many left-arm spinners around that we see bowl with slight angle round-arm action and work with angles rather than get the ball to turn like Shane Warne was obsessed with. Can you believe it? He bowls a beauty that bounces and goes past the outside edge, and then the dread down gets the wicket. When a batter gets into survival mode, quite often
चलते हुए
they make that error. Because his reaction is different. Manav Suthar is sheepish about it. It's not the greatest of delivery that he's bowled. The first wicket he was ecstatic, and this time he feels he's been a bit lucky, but he shouldn't feel that way. The reason why the miscue happened was the ball went away from the batter so much that he wasn't able to control it. Why did it get away from the batter? Because he's got this lavish turn as a gift because of his bowling action. So great stuff from the left-arm spinner. That's a good wicket. It looked good. It was set. And India got their third.
धनंजय डिसिल्वा नए बैट्समैन आए
So it's the Sri Lankan captain, Dhananjaya De Silva, another right-hander. He's a good player, Dhananjaya De Silva. I've often felt that he's just underperformed. That, look, it's not a bad test average at all, out of 38, but he can play some quality innings. A little bit shorter. Just gets away from him. And so the top edge is found. But the ball before would have been playing all sorts of games in the mind of Udara. End of the over. Successful one, 53 for 3. It's 53 for 3. And spin is causing havoc already, predominantly the left arm spinner. Suthar for 9 and 4. He's getting the ball to spin prodigiously. Goulding's trying to bowl flatter and quicker than he normally does. But it's such fun watching India bowl because the three spinners, the pitch that's starting to turn, it's turning sharply as well, not slow turn yet. This is the delivery that would have been playing games in Udara's head. I mean, what about that? The spin, the bounce. And then the next delivery is not Suthar's best. He tries to give himself a little bit of room to put it away, and in doing so, gets too far from the ball. And the top edge is found. Simple catch. Jones well at that good point. He's going to enjoy bowling here. The problem now for Sri Lanka is that when you're staring at a deficit of 400, it doesn't matter if you hit a ball for 4, the close infielders remain. They just keep hanging around you, so you make a mistake and you're gone. Would be used to seeing this kind of turn in India because pitches are tailor-made for the ball to turn. We call them rank turners. This is not a rank turn. The outfield is not quick. Be quick enough. Nice stroke to get off the mark. Kuldeep Yadav in the second over, still intent on bowling quick and flat. Seen quite a few straight drives in this test match. This is another fine shot. That pushing the ball through. Just explore the amount of turn that he can get out of this pitch. The two fielders, what you call the leg trap. Careful now. Just wonder whether Kuldeep's been brought on predominantly to bowl to the left-handed Kamindu rather than Jadeja. But even on the surface, as you've rightly pointed out, Jadeja would be a real threat to the left-hander because one would spin and one doesn't. So just enough rough hidden under the grass cover. 58 for 3.
दोस्तों चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके रख लें ताकि आपको आने वाले सभी सेशन दिख जाएं।
All-rounder Sunal Danusha due to come in next. Then Niroshan Dikvela, who hasn't seen Test cricket since 2023. So Sri Lanka are under pressure. There's no doubt about that. Dinesh Chundimal, such a wonderful player of spin. He's back in the hunt. Hiru Dara, who fresh off a big 100 against the West Indies. He's back in the hunt. Chaminda Mendes find the form that he was in at the start of his Test career. Haven't kept an extra cover, so that allows him to take a single. The idea was obviously to get into cover drive against the turn by keeping that area open. Because it turns the ball so much, it's always a good idea for him to get the batter to drive against the turn. Now, when it comes to average turn, Manav Suthar has taken a huge lead on the other spinners. There's still one more spinner to bowl, so you've got how many now? 7 spinners in this test match. You can see there, every ball that is bowled has turned, even the ones that he wants to perhaps go straight off the pitch, just gone away at an angle. You can actually feel how excited you are sitting next to me here. It really is like a chess match, isn't it? I mean, the skill that's required now to combat this type of bowling. Just that you thought big spin had vanished from Test cricket or international cricket. Most spinners now play white ball cricket, won't bother with getting the ball to turn, and bowl is slow. So I thought maybe Murli won were the last ones to give us that exhibition of a lavish turn. Only the other turns the ball, but Manav Suthar has come out of the blue, giving us this pleasure of big turn. That's what a spinner really should be doing. Like a fast bowler should look to bowl faster. Spinners looking to turn the ball. And at a really young age, I'm speaking specifically about the country where I'm from, South Africa, in that rollers are often preferred at younger levels. They don't bowl as balls, but really you want someone who spins the cricket ball. Teach that line of length later. And tight as ever, 59 for 3. It has been all India, 462 all out. Wonderful innings of 167 by Padiko's maiden Test 100. And they've made inroads very early here into the Sri Lankan batting lineup. Oh, has he held on to a cracker? Yes! That is quite unbelievable. He had no right to take that catch. Honestly, it was never within his reach. Even the batter would have thought, yeah, it's in the air, but it's well away from Shubman Gill. One of the best catches that you see in that area. Dive left, and in the end, it's just the left hand that has managed to grasp the ball. Look at the reaction, the spring-like dive. Oh, to be young. And what a wicket this is. What's more, this is going to give a huge boost to Kuldeep Yadav. I mean, the Mendes gone for 14, India on a roll here, 59 for 4.
Kanar,
Arsenal,
Ipri
now
se
the
chale aaye.
all-rounder, with a lot of work to do. So, Sultan and Jaya De Silva take a wonderful catch. Sri Lankan captain, who's just been
Aaye,
outdone
do bal
by
to bal.
his Indian counterpart, because that is something quite special.
हाँ जी बकटन
I know that's a sensational catch, and we'll talk a lot about that catch. Look at their eyes on the ball, and just that belief that he can get there. There enough speed for the ball to reach a couple of runs. I just want to highlight one aspect of that wicket. Kuldeep Yadav's bowling. The line wasn't great. We'll have a look at the catch again. Deserves another look. Wow. People who work on the fitness and people who sometimes feel it is a game of skills. Why do you need to be supremely fit? This is what you can do when you're supremely fit. Big catches like this, like Dhananjaya did the opposite number yesterday. Yeah, so Kuldeep Yadav has got his first wicket. And we always talk about length, and why length is important. When you see that wicket, the line isn't great. It's a very, but it's a much wider outside of another angle of that absolutely magnificent catch. And he was delighted with it, and Kuldeep Yadav is over the moon too. Yeah, be proud of that one. Good hands. Doesn't stand in the slip garden as much, but in the slips I've seen him, he's just got beautiful hands. So yes, the ball was wide outside the off stump, but what really induced the wicket was the length, which got the batter to drive it. That's the old length of the 50s and 60s when we had those great spinners. They got a lot of wickets getting the batter to drive, getting caught in the cover region. I think Shubman Gill believes a lot in that extra cover
खाए तो सब लगा हुआ
position.
ना
He's got that for seam bowlers for the spinner as well. Look at the neck. He's just got it right up, getting the batter to push, inducing that error. Spectacular catch. We were very critical of Sri Lanka and their lengths for the first day, but they got their lengths right on the second day, and India would have learnt a lot from that. Very few balls Sri Lanka have been able to play back to, always bringing them forward.
किस तरह की बनी
They just hold in the surface when trying to drive.
तो
Again, up to the bat, up to the bat. Great exhibition of spin bowling, 62 for 4.
अब कहे लंग वही नहीं होता और तो मुँह का तो नेक तो पानी करवा भी जा होगा
और हम मतलब पैसा की गिनती में नहीं यहाँ पर पैसा दे रहे हैं हम तुमने पैसा ही देना है पैसा ही बड़ा नहीं कुछ भी जिंदगी
Siraj started the run. It's the second delivery. Wasn't a great shot by Madushka, but since then it's just been
चीज़ है यहाँ पे कल मतलब आज वो सब नहीं है
mightily impressive.
आदमी
He's
क्या
left
बुरा
off
बन
of the
जाता
ducks.
और
इतने ऊपर
Shubman
नहीं जाना
Gill
चाहिए
wishes
और जरूरत
that
पड़े
he
तो
had
नहीं
an extra
देगा
field that he could just throw in there at silly point. You almost, I don't know who ever came up with the number 11, but you always feel as though you won short. Interesting round the wicket to the left-hander because
तो भाई की
just
क्या
can't help but turn the ball. If he pushes it outside off, there'll be some occasions when the ball will just carry on with that
नहीं
angle,
होती
and that would be great for him. They've got a slip as well for that purpose. You can see every ball that he's pulled has turned. You have to see a proper, straight, delivery as the natural variation of where he's actually bowled a straight delivery. I like this angle of attack because I think it brings LBW into the equation. You can pitch it on off stump and turn it back in. Often the left arm spinners will just bowl over the wicket and try and find some footmarks, but you really take LBW out the equation with that angle of attack unless the batter plays back. They're trying to bring the Sri Lankans forward. LBW in the game and the little inside hop that you go to short leg. Not confident to deal. Not confident. Just excited. Kept the extra cover area opens. He could actually have
हाँ भाई हाँ भाई भाई क्यों मामा कट्टा लगे से नहीं गो पता तुझे पार निकली चिड़िया मामा ऐसे काम तो कर देता थोड़ा तो
And whether it was natural variation or was it a different release? But guess what? It's a different release from Manav Suthar, which is great to see. There's that one traditional delivery that he bowls, which turns a lot where the seam is pointed towards the lip. Ball turns and bounces. The other as well. Getting that ball straight enough. We'll try and show you those two variations that he has spotted. Largely gets the ball to turn, but if he has the ball that straightens up the pitching, this becomes unbelievably difficult to play that.
और कौन भी
Let's see if we've got this right for you guys. On the left
टाइम
is
तो बल रहा है
the
तो
release where you can see the seam is pointed towards third man. And on the right, you see it's a different release where the batter will see only the leather coming at him. And the intent is for the ball on the right to go straight up the pitching. It might sometimes hit the seam and just bounce. It's not going to turn as much as the ball on the left. So those are the two variations that he has. And these are not natural variations. Natural variation is when the grip is the same, release is the same, the ball behaves differently. Here the releases are different. And that's Manav Suthar for you. On the left is main strength. The sets him apart. The big turn that he gets, and on the right, slight variation to get the ball to straighten up after pitching.
Just watching Suthar bowl, his action, the way he bowls will be well suited to playing on the harder surfaces of Australia and South Africa as well, because of that overspin. You'll get the ball to bounce, which is so critical in those conditions. Intriguing, riveting, 66 for 4.
जिंजाई के कहाँ है हनुमान जी का?
I'm reluctant to say it's a beautiful day in Galle because we know how the weather can change so quickly, as can the pitch. Day one, just 2 wickets, and then the test match has started to move very, very quickly for the bowlers. 7 on day 2, 5 already on day 3. And spin is doing the damage in Galle as it has done.
दोस्तों जडेजा आ चुके हैं, मुझे लगता है कि पहले ओवर में विकेट निकाल के ले जाएंगे, कि बहुत ही एक्सपीरियंस बॉलर हैं। तो आप ना चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके जरूर रखें, अगर आप सब्सक्राइब कर देंगे तो एक विकेट और मिल जाएगा।
You're talking about the natural variation, not the variation that Suthar has, which is the hop spin versus the undercut. Jadeja has the natural variation.
It's going to be really fascinating what 3 left-arm spinners just try and see how they bowl in different styles, what kind of effect will have in their own way on the batters. Now Jadeja will come in and just bowl his overs quickly. He'll be focused on just landing the ball on the penny. Won't worry too much about how he's releasing the ball or get those variations, and he relies on the pitch to provide the variation.
Such a tough customer to play against on surfaces that are deteriorating because of one bite of spin can bring all the closer illness out of the game. Then you play for the spin and it just skips on and clatters into your front pad, into your shin.
Especially as they bowl right-handed when they're trying to cover the spin, the ball straightens and hit the pad. With DRS, ball is hitting the stump no matter how stretched forward you are. You're going to get out. You'll be given out.
I remember coming across a player from the 70s who walked into the commentary box one day and said to me, if DRS was around when I was playing, I would have averaged 5 more. I said, if DRS was around when I was playing, I would have averaged 5 less. It really has aided or rewarded the spinners. 67 for 4.
जब बंटी के देख कर रहा है लगता है क्यों हां पापा पे बदले बदना जे मैं गत्तनो जानते नहीं पापा सामने से पे जाता बाकी गोभी की कि तो पैसा दे दम और बदने बोलती नहीं है पैसा तो पैसा
मुंह पे लगा खाई नहीं।
वास्तव में हमें मालूम है आगे नहीं बोलते हैं
Well, we got half an hour to go to lunch in Sri Lanka in dire straits. Still a long, long way behind India. 309 spin. Looks for the slot sweep. Doesn't really control it. Morning, Russell. Morning, Russell. Good to see you. Likewise. Thought taken a slip. Now almost afternoon, half an hour to lunch. Under tremendous pressure, the Sri Lankan team. Picking up the wickets that they needed to within 4 balls. Driven. That will go for 4. Just
चौका
beat
लगा यार, वो
Siraj.
लग गया अच्छा.
Almost crawled to the boundary, but vital for Sri Lanka. Any little opportunity, you got to look to score. Now the bowlers will be
दोस्तों आप
overused.
सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर दें चैनल को,
Got very
जिससे
close
कि
to it.
आपको दूसरा
Dhananjay
सेशन
D'Silva
भी दिख जाएगा
relies
और लाइक
only
जरूर
on
कर
his
ले.
timing. The pitch evolving as you would expect here in Gaur. We are into the third day. And the situation of the game only dictates it. Yeah. Everything in their favor. Runs on the board. The pitch wearing Sri Lanka. Have already lost 4 wickets. And gradually over the days, they've seen turn. Well, this is not average turn, Babu. The maximum we've seen. Keshwara Nuance at 9.4 degrees on this. I think that was the first day now. Manav Suthar 8.3%. Full 6 overs. Played for some turn that time. Completely beaten. Went the other way or straightened down the line, but he was definitely playing for turn. That's natural variation. Just around that area you have to play because you're trying to defend the stumps. We're seeing that happen more and more. Very, very easy approach.
भैया ना
Covering the line.
कैसा
Indian spin bowling has been at another level. Another look in terms of the maximum turn. Maybe one ball.
गाड़ी ऐसी चाय बना लियो
9.4 degrees.
ये ले गए ऐसी चाय बना लियो बढ़िया
What a spell from the
अगर
left
आप
arm
कार में
spinner. 72 for 4.
शांत में
What a contrast. Day 3, first session, 5 wickets
गाड़ी
down.
पकड़ा ये पूरी
First 2 days, particularly on day 1, batting was made to look so easy. Indian batters,
ज़्यादा पुरानी
the
नहीं है 2
spinners,
साल
the
पुरानी
spin of India, the left arm spinners, and a classical one, Suthar. What an exhibition of left arm spin bowling. Beautiful action, lovely release, revs on the ball, beautiful loop, everything in him. He's got 1 over break and he's back. Jadeja came on for an over until Indian is realizing Suthar might be the better option.
तो न्यू बन गया को
Keep
मामा का तो
pushing as we head into lunch on the 3rd day.
कैसी बना बागा फोन लगा दो
Look at the release.
कभी
Cut
बागा है
on the
बागा है
leg side, but you can see that effort,
हाँ वो
real effort on the
बैठे
part
का
of the left arm spinner. So he gets so much
वो तुम
on
रिश्तेदार
the
को
ball and you see
ये
how
हो
the
गया
pitch is responding to him. Goes over the top.
सवेरे में
Mentioned the batting made easy on the first day. Raul and Padikkal were outstanding. Then again, you've got to consider where the pitch is at its best. Hardly any turn or variable bounce. One over. But in this dry, hot weather, pitch crumbling, drying up further,
वो
all these
factors
हम्म
could experience somewhat wear and tear, and hence, as the days go on,
अब वो तो
your
पुरानी
options
रहता है ना
as batter. How to
अब
score your
पुरानी
runs.
तो पुरानी ही रहता है
Shots are not a straightforward drive through the line is not an option when a run for the ace. This morning, some of the Sri Lankan batters are not seeing that understanding changing
हाँ
orientation.
धीमे धीरे दे तो
For example, we go through the dismisses. Madhuskar spoke at one stage.
और
Lets him go through.
अब चाहो आज
Understands
अपन
what's
ने
coming
देखा
up.
पर वे दंग किसमें
You
बनेगा
just don't know whether it's turning or what's happening. He plays ahead. Hope you miss it. Talk about the next two dismisses in the next over. Roshan Singh 64. So no real partnership for Sri Lanka. 27 and 26, their best for the second and third. Up against the score as big as 462. You need those big partnerships, especially open off the very first ball.
ग्वालियर से आया तो
Get the spin. Ball.
चार पाँच मिनट
India's spin has been outstanding and the variety they offer. Left arm spinners, but different type. Jadeja now goes quickish. Edaway plays to be wicket to wicket. Suthar, of course, is a more orthodox, classical left arm spinner. Kuldeep, wrist spinner. So much of variety for India. Oh, he gets turned and he pushes it through quickly. That's always his strength. That's the difference in Jadeja. Lower trajectory, holds it to the pitch, he gets it to go. Most others need to go
तीन चार
in the air.
चार
Stop because he goes wide of the crease and creates a big angle into the right hander. Nice shot, good fielding. But Russell, quickly on the surface. I know you were speaking about different types and different days. Everyone's emphasizing the fact that this is a football pitch. Part of the wicket that we bought. Do you think what we see on day 3 is what the plan was and what the anticipation was, or was it expected a little bit later? I think it's playing as a normal golf pitch would. It goes the third day, probably the most dangerous day because there's wear and tear and there's still lightning. Couple of
संकट दिया
dies in terms of the pace. So the key is to
वो
stay in the
कैसे
game.
बने
Right now, Sri
पता नहीं
Lanka
पता
way
नहीं
behind. He's come somewhere there and there about to force India to bat again.
वो तो जिए कि मैं ये गाड़ी में वो भी चीज़ आता था खन्ना तो खन्ना
Shots that are not complimented, just driving onto the rough. Mr. Push is what the bowler wants you to do. He wants you to do that because it's a risk. Yes, outstanding catch, but it was a very soft option taken. Like Purara looked very good, but the ball turning reacted to a one. Very full strike to play that square cut. Only one factor that's different in this over, in this pitch, 80 for 4.
गाड़ी का पहना मैंने खाली लग रही है बाकी तो ये गर्मा देखा नहीं वही देखा वो भी गाड़ी से ही जाना पड़ता
कौन भी ले हम
फिर अपन ऐसी जगह नहीं मांग पाते आदमी को कोई दूसरा नहीं ले जाता
Well, there's a bit of
लगा
catching
रही
up to be
बस
done because of the rain on day 2
है ना फिर जैसे
and also on day 1. So this session ends at 12, but then middle session and the
और
session
क्या है
beyond
बजे सोच कर आ रहे हैं
will
आदमी
be
कहीं लोग
standard.
छूट गया तो और हम लगा ना अच्छी बात नहीं है
Our
सिर्फ
easy
ये
response
नहीं
again for lost time.
जाएगी
ये और ये वाली जगह आया
Pace on at the far end after just 1 over from Suthar. That's interesting.
आज तो ना छूट पे
Prasid is
पार्टी
back.
लूंगा तो ये पड़ा ना 20 रुपया दिया
To offer different options to the Sri Lankan batters with lunch approaching.
अरे तो बात करेंगे
Another
हमने
positive
जब
point
सिस्टम
here.
आई के बाद वो आप
Krishna
मान
bowling
ले
around the wicket is he'll create a rough. You saw what
कि
Jadeja
वो
was doing.
ये का जहाँ पेड़ में ढूंढ थी
He'll just aid him.
तो जगाड़ी चालू
Now,
मार नहीं
look at
थी
this
जब
pitch.
आप भैंसे ले रात
Dry,
देखो ले
but
हम
there's a
भेज
lot
देते हैं
more
मैंने
grass.
कैसे की
And now this is in line with the
सही है
stumps. And this is the area Manav
इसे तो
Suthar
ले
is
तो
bowling.
हम रोड तक बात बता रहे हैं
Every
सही
area is created beneath the grass.
नहीं गाड़ी नहीं है तो कहाँ
Depends
निकलना
on the pitch. Underneath, when he crumbles or these types of changes happen, it gets a lot tougher.
कल को लिया
Whereas in the past,
है ना मौसम को
there's no grass, the topsoil crumbles. As the days go on, you also sweep it off and
क्या बात कर दी वो
it
को
stays flat. But when the soil is loose, then these variations come in beneath the grass. It becomes very unpredictable. That's what we're seeing. It's going to be a lot more challenging
देख ला
going forward.
मेरा वही प्लेयर
Deep,
अब राहुल ने ये सिस्टम के बारे में दिन दिन में बड़ा हो जा रहा है समझ में
it also brings in the equation, the importance of the toss.
जी हाँ ये बेचारी बैटिंग करूँगी वो
Need to bat first on the
मैं कह रहा
surface.
हूँ कभी कब तक नंबर
If they
होता
did
ही
very well by
रहता
bowling correctly,
हम्म
the toss, now Brown wicket. Yeah, you can't control the toss, and that's where hopefully more discipline in terms of the ball. And then save yourself from sweeping. Then you're not under so much pressure. You're batting a little earlier. It's changes in the pitch, which hasn't happened as much.
ऐसा
It's
करें
still
तो
better.
ना
Forward pressure also plays a massive part. It's underestimated in how the batter feels, the bowlers feel when they come at you. 300, 350. Then you're rolling with it.
दोस्तों आप सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें जिससे कि आपको
Looking at the Sri
दूसरे
Lankan
सेशन भी दिख
batting,
जाएगा
Big Baller in next, that's a very interesting conclusion. And then the rest of the batting doesn't seem to have too much of credentials we haven't seen what Kesara could do, but each partnership and Big Baller. That will be a massive moment
ये
when Big
चौका ले
Baller comes
लगेगा
out
भाई
to bat. You've got to hang in there. Get the ball softer. Then we know it doesn't zig through as much. Wear the opposition down. They keep picking up wickets. Draw the bounce. They're trying everything. Fielders in catching positions. The moment you bring a couple of partnerships together, push the fielders back to thinking, okay, let's save runs. 25, 30 overs. That zip goes off a bit. Dies down. Is very soft, drawing a position. Controlling the ball.
याद करा था
गाड़ी कैसी है पहले
ठीक है बस यही है इसमें लगा नहीं
डीलक्स से अच्छी है
को
देवी गाड़ी डीलक्स
Well, Niro Shandik Bella and then Kesar Nuanta in his debut test match.
हाँ,
That's
मुझे
to
बात नहीं
realize
बोली थी
Marathi Fernando
बस
really has to put your predators as
छाती की बोल
matters.
रही
So
हूँ
this and the next
मैंने कहा
partnership
दे बहन
crucial
तेरे साधन के
for
सामने
Sri
ये
Lanka,
बड़े
but
आ गए
I think the
हाँ
first
कम बजाने वाला है
objective is get to lunch.
तो ये बड़ी तो रहना है
Try and do it without any
बजाने
more
का कम
loss.
रहता है
13 minutes to go. He's good at that. He likes to swing. Sonal Dinusha happens to be his go-to shot. So far he's played it twice. Once a slog swing, but now this time into the bat.
बस शादी की
Then
बड़ी
you
हो
got to
रही थी
understand
राइट
your game, your strengths.
बताओ आपके सब ब्याह होगा मुझे किसी सीजन में ब्याह होते का सब ब्याह होगा
Oh dear, oh dear.
अभी 6-7 लाख की शादी कर
You
दिया
won't,
है
it messes everything. That's what Dhananjay De Silva did there.
चियाना ही तो
That's
कहाँ
exactly
चिपकी
what
मांग
happened. There's nothing he can do about it. He's covering the angle of the shot. His hands don't push out at it. Yeah, that's what he's doing well. He's playing it very late, playing it almost underneath his eyes. Yeah, well, that's what happened. Really not pushing at it. So he could have on the outside edge, clips the off bail. How do you play that? It's like he did. Play the line of the stumps. Hope you miss it. The natural variation very much on display. The previous one turned and this one straight through. This would be the challenge.
बुआ को नहीं हुआ बुआ
Silly point and slip. 84 for 4.
जैन
चाल की लड़ाई
बुआ कैसे नहीं अच्छा कैसा 22 साल से हुआ आई सही है एकदम ऐसा कोई नहीं है
Well, this tells you the story. Second ball duck, unfortunately for Nishan Matushka. And then nothing to show in terms of partnership. This one's promising. 25.
अभी तो 5 तो गए गई
The proceed will continue.
ये तो सही ऐसा नहीं पहुंची शाम को आदमी से नहीं क्या
48 minutes to the lunch break. 2 minutes. He's very strong in that area. Kunal loves the ball angling onto the pads, just works it. He always does. Working up a good hit of steam. We've seen him let himself go in that warm-up game, but the odd delivery always. He bent his back, surprised the batters even here. The pace, his height, he gets bounced. Devanagani. And line and left, and the batter.
तो दोस्तों मैच तो बढ़िया चल रहा है आप सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें
Giving the variations that the batters have to keep adjusting all the time. Also will have get that extra bounce.
और आयुष्मान फाइट मार सकना सुंदर लेगा हो दरगा
Change up. Spinners can
देखे
working hard. That was very close to the body, but he got it away nicely.
ये डायरेक्ट एजेंसी नहीं है
Yeah, boundary. Very close to Dhananjay's off stump, but manages to squeeze it in that gap.
तो बिस्से चूड़ी चला ला
Putting the ball back in.
चूड़ी चला ला
Dhananjay is working it very late. Yeah, he came back in. That's why he got cramped.
तो चलो यार
The
4
pace
कितने
full
मारे
team
भाई
now
भाई
heads back to
व्हाट्सएप का नहीं
a deep third man.
अम्मी का टीवी दुबई चलो यार तो
He'll, if he doesn't lead too many runs, he'll be having an eye on follow-on mark as well. 373, that's a lot of runs, but you want to be easing the pressure when the runs start to flow. Batters tend to feel more comfortable. Nishan Madushka and Lairu Udar came out early. Second ball of the innings. Just a bit more spot on the crease. Not much you can do about that. The very first delivery. Suthar, previous delivery turn and then the loose shot. Pushing out the run. Always a risk, but an outstanding catch from Shubman Gill.
Yeah, India's out cricket has been top class. Whether it's bowling or fielding, and the way they have managed their bowlers, the way they look, attack Sri Lankan batting with different styles of fields, different bowlers, changing ends quickly, going in three left armers for variety.
Busy afternoon at Gaul. I think the only entrance to the port. Yeah. And a lot of your younger days in these parts. Nooks and corners. 94.
अरे जो पोजर का जना सगल दूसरे नहीं दम है
पागल का दीदी
आई जस्ट
तो करा से ना
जो कराने को पापा को दुआ है ये जी नहीं तो पापा नहीं ये तो है तो पापा नहीं
नाम तो बाप
दूसरे के
देखो नाम तो मामा नहीं जाओ तो सगल से हम डिफरेंट मैच नहीं कर रही
ना कुछ ही जय जय वालों
94.
अरे जी जी तो दूसरे नहीं बनी होती नहीं नहीं बनी थी
It's a very busy
बड़ा ना नहीं करवा रहे थे
and this is what the road
चीकू मोट
going through the tunnel. Beautiful.
एक जरा जरा पापा को दे
Just an amazing addition. Drone,
क्या हो लग रहा है आज जय भी दे दिया मैं
different angles, different heights.
फूट लग गया इसके भी
Goes into the what has come showing us.
चीकू लॉक फोन दे फिर लॉक है था
छोड़ के नहीं भेजेगा
Okay, Rahul's back on the field. Very few minutes to go. Should be about 5 minutes to go for lunch. Jadeja will continue. Oh, it's taken. That's gone. That's for sure. Manav is waiting, but I think he caught it cleanly. That's Rahul. Yeah, if my eyes didn't deceive me, that looked a clean catch.
For a fair catch, check the speed, fair delivery, go to the catch please.
तो देख ना मोड़ो
फिर सगल ऐसी है यार तो दिख रही सगल है
Zoom it please.
जाऊंगा तो मैं गलू वाली खुद ही ऐसे नहीं लग रहा है कुछ के
250 रुपया आ गया हमें
आए
If it will,
राजा बने
yes, fingers are underneath the ball. I'm feeling satisfied. Really carrying the ball. I have a distance to the giant.
हेलो ये देख ले आओ
Big one, Sri Lanka's captain. He was back on a perfect delivery from Ravindra Jadeja. Dhananjay has gone for 21. Big trouble, Sri Lanka. 90 for 5.
तो कहाँ पे
ये दादी जा मैं तो क्या लग रहा हूँ 1500 मैं पहले भी गए थे छोटू दे सीटी भी सका चाचा जी चाचा रे ये उठ पे जाना है बिल्कुल की काम करता हो
5, and what a time for Niroshan Dikwella to come in. Well, under so much pressure, scrutinized for his selection. That's his record, 22 half centuries, but nothing to show in terms of hundreds. He comes in with about 3 minutes to lunch, all turning. Spring in the Indian step, the spinners, in great control of things, and negotiates it. Perfect delivery though. You have to play at it. Look where he pitches, straightens. He hopes it goes fast. It doesn't. KL Rahul was off the field and just come on. Gets underneath it. Brilliant. And you just think about the fact that Gill's been moving his bowlers around, changing ends, very short spells. Just working. Make India work hard for their wickets. Also looking back at the Dhananjay's dismissal, it was almost a similar line and length that went past his outside edge. Yes, in the previous over. There's a line. Oil out there. That's the reason the batter was trying to win that good length area. As a batter, you're trying to get off that area. And these type of things can happen when you allow keep taking you a bit of turn. You use your feet, you try to get deep, use the sweep, try and force him off that. 90 for 5.
हेलो फ्रेंड, तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें ताकि आपको दूसरा सेशन भी दिख जाए।
Well, I'm just wondering about that dark cloud in the background, just hovering over. Not only you, the ground staff, moving around. Yeah, it's about lunch. Dinner is over, so they would bring the covers on. Not cover the pitch. Precautionary reasons, they'll cover the surroundings in case. Kuldeep Yadav from the far end. Great to see the way Shubman Gill has fixed his bowlers and matched them as pairs. A little while ago we had Suthar bowling at that end, and the fast bowler comes on. Jadeja swung to the opposite end, and now Kuldeep Yadav bowling the last over from the fourth end. So much of option. They know. When they start to bowl, we know that there's something in there. In this case, it's about the cloud. Touch shot. Allows him to rock back and get that single. A lovely song that I like.
दोस्तों सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें ताकि आपको दूसरा सेशन
Like to listen to you singing. Breeze has picked up that big cloud in the background. I feel it'll be blown away over the sea. Not affect us for the moment. Silly point, slip in. 4 balls left. And he sweeps and he's off the mark.
दोस्तों इस बॉल
And
पर
he will
चौका
get a
मारने की
boundary.
संभावना है और मिल जाएगा।
Niroshan Dikwella, he's up and running. He's a run thief, that's what he is. Niroshan Dikwella always does Dikwella
दोस्तों
things
जडेजा ने
which are
अभी तक बहुत अच्छी बॉलिंग की है, लेकिन
hard
कुलदीप
to
यादव
explain.
जो लगातार चौके खा रहे हैं, एक विकेट
And
तो
he'll be
सुमन
cheeky
के
like this.
कैच पर
He'll
मिल
try
गया
to
था।
get the bowlers off that length.
So this will be a good battle.
दोस्तों आपसे निवेदन है कि आप सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें, जिससे कि आप दूसरे सेशन में हमारे साथ बने रहेंगे और आपको आसानी से मैच दिखाई देगा।
Plays it late. And he'll
दोस्तों
get four
एक और
more, I
चौका
think.
लग जाएगा। हाँ
Yes,
दोस्तों
yes.
लग जाएगा बिल्कुल।
Previous one swept wide. This one played late. Back-to-back boundaries.
I was talking about the battle of the length. That little dink shot previously has made Kuldeep shorten the length. So credit to Dick Weller getting himself a loose ball.
Got dark. Loud is no more, but saving grace is we got some blue sky to our right. Know that the ground scarf will secure at least the playing area immediately in place for lunch.
Will you be joining us for lunch?
Planning.
उधर आओ।
One ball to go before lunch, and what a session it has been.
तो एक
5
रन
wickets for India. They've shown us why their spinners are rated so highly. Their bowling group are rated so highly. Safely negotiated, and India will be pleased with the good sessions for Sri Lanka at lunch. With Suthar, Dinusha and Dick Weller together on 99 for 5.
Indian innings lasted just the 4 balls this morning, but coming out, they would have expected to make inroads, but picking up 5 wickets, I don't think they would have expected that, though. It's been a pretty much easy session. As we mentioned, Shubman Gill changing his bowlers around and everyone
दोस्तों पहला
Keeping the
सेशन
pressure
समाप्त हो
on
रहा
and
है।
looking
दोस्तों
threatening.
चलो
6
आपको
wickets for 101
गेमिंग में एंजॉय
runs.
कराता हूँ, तो आप बने
First
रहिए
session
लाइव
of
स्ट्रीम
the
में।
day
चलो गेमिंग
slightly
की ओर
extended
चलते हैं।
as we're trying.
तो दोस्तों हम गेमिंग में आ गए हैं, तो चलो आपको गेमिंग में ही एंजॉय कर लें थोड़ी बहुत। जब तक हमारा दूसरा सेशन स्टार्ट हो रहा है तब तक आप बने रहिए लाइव में, और आपको गेमिंग में इंटरेस्ट कराते हैं तो आप गेमिंग में बने रहिए। अभी हमारा गेम लोड हो रहा है। सब्सक्राइब करके रख लें, जिससे आपको दूसरा सेशन भी दिख जाएगा। अभी हम आपको गेमिंग में एंजॉय करा रहे हैं, तो आप सब्सक्राइब करके रख लें, लाइक कर दें स्ट्रीम को। आप चैनल के साथ लगातार बनी रहिए, आपको दूसरा सेशन भी देखेगा। अभी लंच हुआ है, तो लंच को हम नहीं दिखा रहे हैं, इसलिए आपको गेमिंग में एंजॉय करा रहे स्ट्रीम को लाइक दोस्तों बहुत जल्दी दिखेगा आपको लाइव मैच, इसके लिए आप बने रहिए स्ट्रीम में, स्ट्रीम को छोड़कर ना जाएं। और आपको पूरा सेशन देखेगा दूसरा भी। तो दूसरा सेशन बहुत जल्दी दिखेगा। तो दोस्तों आपको दूसरे लाइव स्ट्रीम जिसके लिए आप लाइव स्ट्रीम को देखने जा रहे हैं कि अभी मुझे पूरा स्टार्ट हुआ है तो बने रहिए चैनल के साथ। तो दोस्तों आप बने रहिए लाइव स्ट्रीम में। अभी लंच चल रहा है इसलिए आपको लाइव मैच नहीं दिख रहा। जब तक आप गेमिंग में एंजॉय कीजिए, आपको गेमिंग में एंजॉय कराएंगे, इसलिए आप चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके रख लें। 10 मिनट बाद मैच स्टार्ट होगा, इसलिए आप तब तक गेमिंग का एंजॉय कीजिए। चैनल के साथ बने रहें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें, जिससे कि आपको दूसरे सेशन भी आसानी से देखने को मिल जाएगा। कि आपको पता है टेस्ट मैच में लंच होता है, तो अभी लंच चल रहा है। लंच के बाद आपको दूसरा सेशन दिखेगा। इसलिए पहला सेशन समाप्त हो चुका है, दूसरा सेशन आपको लंच के बाद दिखेगा, जो कि लंच में सिर्फ 5 या 10 मिनट
आईडी को मैटर हो रहा है, स्कूल की आईडी है, मतलब स्कूल में जो प्रोफाइल में भी लग रही है, और वो सदस्य आईडी है ना वो तो सेम है, परिवार आईडी है ना वो अलग अलग है, मतलब जो अलग परिवार आईडी में है ना वो नाम है ना, जो दो आईडी हो रही है दोनों में एक आईडी हटवा भी करा और शपथ पत्र बनवा के ला थोड़ी सी। अब मैंने करा मैंने कर दी आईडी डिलीट करवा दी, तो बाद में तो लपड़ो नहीं होनी, वो कुछ और में लग रही है
और सीपी वाई सी है अभी देखो दोस्तों, आप चैनल के साथ बने रहें और स्क्रीन को लाइक कर दें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें। तो दोस्तों, मैं आपको स्क्रीन थोड़ी देर के लिए बंद कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मैं देखने जा रहा हूँ कि मैच स्टार्ट हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है, इसलिए आप बने रहें, आपको लाइव स्ट्रीम चालू रहेगी। दोस्तों, आप चैनल के साथ बने रहिए, आपको 2-5 मिनट के बाद आपको लाइव मैच देखने को मिलेगा, इसलिए आप चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके रख लें। बहुत जल्दी में आपको मैच स्टार्ट होती हुई दिखेगा। 5 मिनट बाद आपको मैच देखने को मिल जाएगा, इसलिए आप चैनल के साथ बने रहें, जब तक आप गेमिंग का एंजॉय लीजिए। आपको थोड़ी देर बाद लाइव मैच देखने को मिल जाएगा, क्योंकि अभी लंच चल रहा है। दोस्तों, अभी लंच है, इसलिए आपको 10-5 मिनट इंतज़ार करना पड़ेगा, इसलिए आप गेमिंग का इंटरेस्ट पर देख रहे होंगे, इस पर ही बने रहें और आप चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके रख लें, स्ट्रीम को लाइक भी कर दें। आपको दूसरा सेशन बहुत ही जल्दी दिखेगा। आप चैनल के साथ बने रहें। दोस्तों, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें। अभी लंच है, लंच के बाद आपको लाइव मैच देखने को मिलेगा। आप बने रहें चैनल के साथ। आपको बहुत जल्दी लाइव मैच देखने को मिलेगा। दूसरा सेशन अभी लंच चल रहा है, लंच के बाद आपको दूसरा सेशन देखने को मिलेगा। दोस्तों, चैनल के साथ लगातार बनी रहिए, आपको दूसरा सेशन बहुत जल्दी देखने को मिलेगा। दोस्तों,